Good morning, colleagues. As we embark on a new session, there's one bill in particular that deserves a very careful read. Every member of this body should understand what it would do. It's called the First Amendment Defense Act, but I don't think that's a very good name. Perhaps the Defense Against the First Amendment Act would be better. I'm going to explain why. I believe that everyone in this chamber comes to work down here every day trying to make the lives of Georgians better, trying to improve our outcomes, and trying to bring business to our state. I don't think that the First Amendment Defense Act does any of that, but here's what it would do. It takes one group of people who hold a view that marriage should be only between a man and a woman, and here's the more interesting part, that all sexual activity should take place only within such a relationship, and it makes them a protected class. Except, of course, people doesn't mean people as in flesh and blood. It also means any type of for-profit or nonprofit business that you can think of. And you may think that I and the bill are only talking about views that arise out of a genuinely held religious belief, but that's not what this bill says. This bill starts there, but then quickly goes on to expand protection to anyone who has any sort of conviction against gay people. But wait, not just gay people, anyone who has had a sexual relationship outside of marriage. So that could be single mothers, that could be anyone who's ever had an affair, anyone who's been cohabitating, and the list goes on, and it protects that viewpoint that those people aren't worthy and aren't deserving of swimming in the same pool with the rest of us. Think of all the Georgians who fit those categories and many others that I haven't enumerated. And unfortunately, this legislation would hang a scarlet letter around their necks. What this bill says is that when you discriminate, no action can be taken against you. That would have many consequences, intended and unintended. Everything from a store clerk that asks the couple he suspects are gay to sink another line, to the government clerk who declines to process a joint tax return for a same-sex couple, to a teacher who refuses to teach certain children because their parents are unwed. At a minimum, this legislation would invite reams of litigation. This bill would protect those viewpoints in the broadest way possible, while at the same time denying protection for those who might speak up in support of same-sex marriage or a sexual relationship outside of marriage. The problem here is this proposed selective government favoritism is doomed to failure in the courts. Even if supporters of traditional marriage are under attack politically and in the court of public opinion, as they claim, they are not entitled to government action that would grant them protection and rights not available to those who support the rights of same-sex couples. As the Cato Institute's Walter Olson wrote in Newsweek, a serious attempt to resolve the culture wars in this area might look for ways to accommodate minority religious viewpoints without harming the operations of government or the beneficiaries of public programs. But the way FADA is written, and I continue quoting Mr. Olson, it isn't an accommodation law. It's an our guys win law, because it would be government choosing to protect one kind of speech above opposing speech on the exact same topic. My colleagues, religious freedom is already enshrined in our First Amendment to our Constitution. It is a cherished American value. Giving one group rights to discriminate against another group, however, is not. Thank you, Mr. President, and I yield the floor.